This is a Red FM Vancouver podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe for more great content. For further info, log on to redfm.ca.
ਜਿਉਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਕਿ CERB ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ 4 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਲਈ ਵਧਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ EI ਮਿਲਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ। EI ਕਿਵੇਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਸ਼ਰਤਾਂ ਨੇ, ਇੰਪਲੋਇਮੈਂਟ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਰੀਵੈਂਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਕਾਰਲਾ ਕੁਆਲਟਰੋ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਇੰਪਲੋਇਮੈਂਟ, ਵਰਕਫੋਰਸ ਤੇ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇਨਕਲੂਜਨ ਦੇ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ। Minister, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us today on Monday.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here.
So please tell us a bit more about this CERB extension and how have you revamped the employment insurance program?
Well, a lot of work has been done. So as people know, CERB was available till the end of September, but many people don't have any weeks left by the end of August. So we've added 4 weeks to CERB. So people can claim another 4 weeks of CERB, getting everybody through the end of September. Really important because of all the other uncertainty going on around back to school and all the other things that people have on their plate. In addition, we've changed EI to make it a lot more streamlined and simplified and automated, so we can get people into the system. So what we've done is we set a national unemployment rate for the whole country, and we've given people a credit of insurable hours. So again, one of the challenges, and I think you and I have even discussed this, is that because people haven't been working, they don't have enough hours to qualify for EI.
That's right.
And so what we're doing is giving people a credit. So we're going to give you 300 hours or 480, depending on the type of benefit you're applying for, to make it easier to get people into EI. And what we've determined is we want as many people in the EI system as possible, because that's the best system we have. It's not perfect, but a lot of the concerns, again, that you and I have discussed around disincentivizing work and monitoring people and having to prove that they're available to work, we can do that through EI. But, it was harder to do through CERB. So we're trying to get as many people into EI as possible. But we know that even with these changes, there's going to be people who don't have enough hours still. And right now the hour threshold is about 120. Or who are self-employed or gig workers who aren't in the EI system overall. We're creating 3 new benefits to make, which are very similar to CERB, but again, we've learned from CERB and we've put in, we've tried to reduce the disincentives to work piece by putting these new benefits in. So at the end of September, people will, if you're not working, you'll transition to EI if you qualify, or to these new benefits if you don't.
Mm-hmm. So these new benefits will be applicable to gig workers and self-employed people?
Yes. Of course, there'll be criteria like the CERB. You have to have earned $5,000. You have to have a social insurance number.
But the amount will be $2,000 again?
For the recovery benefit, so for the job loss benefit, so basically the next version of CERB. Again, we're not in an emergency. We're in a recovery now. It's going to be $400 a week, not $500 a week. But for the caregiving and sick benefits, it stays at $500.
Mm-hmm. Minister, your government is a pro-business government. Business is already complaining that people aren't returning to work because of CERB. And now there's a revamping of this EI. Have you made sure that the loopholes are all plugged?
Well, we've tried our very best. So, one of the problems that people highlighted were challenges, I'll say, was the $1,000 maximum earnings. That doesn't exist anymore. And both in EI and in the recovery benefit, you can earn money, but it's phased out at tax time, or it's like a working while on claim model for EI. So you're always going to be better off on this new benefit if you're earning income. So we think people won't be out there telling their employers, I can only work so many hours because I don't want to earn more than $1,000. You don't have to say that anymore. You can get this benefit, and it's going to be adjusted at tax time.
Yeah, would the government nudge people to, I shouldn't use nudge, but would you inspire people to go to work?
Of course, and again, thank you. I should have said that. So we're changing the attestation. It's going to look a lot more like the EI one. You have to be available for work. You have to be, we're encouraging people to be looking for work. You have to take work when it's reasonable to do it. It's going to look a lot like the EI requirements.
So the person has to be here in the country and available for work. A person, let's say, goes to jail. A person leaves from here, goes to, Afghanistan and start living there. But can he still keep on going and keep on receiving the benefits?
No. The intention is not, but of course, because, these are what we're proposing the parameters be, but, we have to put this through legislation. So, of course, there'll be some discussions with the other parties. But the idea is people have to be available to work and they have to take work when it's reasonable to do so. And that to me, that's my message to people is, CERB was different because we told people, please stay at home. We shut down the economy. We shut down businesses. We're now in the recovery phase, and we're saying to people, work if you can. I know there's not as many jobs out there yet, but if you've got the opportunity to work, do it. And businesses, we want to make sure there's workers available for you. We don't want to disincentivize work. So it's a different message, that we're sending now, and we hope people are hearing around expectation to work.
Because with CERB, if a person was out of country, they still keep on receiving CERB. So this new EI that you have developed, it won't be given that way.
Not under EI for sure. That's already in it. And under the recovery benefit that we're proposing, no, that won't be the case. You won't be able to, you have to be home available for work.
Mm-hmm. As soon as this EI hits, do you expect that the CERB recipient number will go down?
Well, again, CERB will be ending. So we figure, first of all, the numbers have gone way down because I think at one point when we spoke, there was about 8.5 million people on the CERB. Now there's about 4.5 million. So 4 million people have gone back into the labor force already that aren't using CERB. We figure of that 4 million, about 3 million will go into EI. So this leaves about 1 million. And of course, it's our best estimate. Taking these new benefits, the recovery benefits that aren't in the EI system. But we expect the numbers to go down as more jobs become available and as more people get back to work. And that's going to be a really important thing for us to watch because that will help us determine the next steps.
So now people who are taking CERB, when it ends here at the end of September, it'll automatically be renewed to EI, or people have to apply for it?
People will have to apply. So like right now on CERB, you have to apply every 4 weeks. EI and this new benefit will be a 2-week period. So like on EI, every 2 weeks you have to go online, apply. You have to say that you're available for work, that you're looking for work. It'll be it'll look like EI, right? Like if you know what EI looks like or you've been in the EI system, it'll very much look like the EI experience. And you have to every 2 weeks.
So it's not an automatical transition?
No, it's not. But CERB isn't automatic now. You have to kind of reapply every 4 weeks, and that's what it's going to be for when your CERB ends at the end of the next 4-week period. You apply for EI, you apply for this new benefit, and it's just going to keep going like it's been going for CERB and like it would be in EI regularly.
Since, Minister, you have given a credit of 120 hours, so people can qualify, they don't have to work for 300 extra hours, would this 300-hour credit go into next year too?
Yes, so this credit's available for a year, and it's a one-time credit, so you use it, you get it once, and it's really important, I should highlight, for people wanting special benefits. So women who are on, maybe you had a baby 2 weeks ago, but you didn't have enough hours to qualify for maternity benefits. You can now get this credit and get maternity benefit. So, but it's available for a year, and the number of weeks you qualify for, of course, in EI will be 26 weeks to 45 weeks, and on this recovery benefit will be 26 weeks maximum.
Who will get this 10-day sick leave?
Well, any worker who has has to stay home or not work because of COVID, whether you are symptomatic and you're worried about infecting your workplace, whether you've taken a test and have been told to stay home, if you have COVID, if you're self-isolating for 2 weeks, you can take it in 2 one-week periods. So you don't have to take it for the 2 weeks at a time. It'll be taken in 1 week period. So maybe you have to stay home because you have symptoms and you get a test tomorrow and 2 days later the test comes back and you're fine. You can go to work next week. And so we didn't want to force, a 2 week stay if you're not ill, but it is very connected to COVID. It's about keeping our workplaces safe.
So, Minister, when you made this change, you just gave in to the NDP. Mr. Jagmeet Singh was asking for it, or it just your plan, or it's influenced by the NDP party?
Well, we had an element of sickness in the CERB from the beginning. In fact, it was the first thing we knew we had to do because we wanted to make it a little easier for people to stay home and not go to work sick so we wouldn't spread COVID. So there's been an aspect of sickness benefits on the CERB forever. We've heard from businesses that they don't want sick people coming to work, and quite frankly, that they didn't have the ability to pay people who were off work because they were sick and didn't want to be told to pay for 2 weeks of sick pay. We've heard from different premiers, including Premier Horgan in BC, that they would like the federal government to help with the safe restart by providing a sick benefit. And yes, other parties have called for it, but it's really been this continuation of a conversation, and it's been validated by businesses and workers find it a bit easier to make the choice to stay home if they know they're going to be paid, and they're going to have job protection. So we're going to amend our labor code so that people can't be fired for taking this benefit. We're working with provinces to amend their labor codes so that people can't be fired or laid off for taking this benefit. But this has been a conversation that's been happening since mid-March, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Minister, now your friend Chrystia Freeland is a finance minister. Would you be able to bring some money to the Western Canada? She's a Westerner.
Well, we're going to try hard, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with her. Of course, even this week, right away, the first file she had to dig into was this announcement on Thursday, and so she's very sensitive to the uniqueness of Western Canada. I think she's very inclined to help us make sure there's an equitable share of federal government money out here. And I've got a very, very good working relationship with her. So I think that will serve us all very well moving forward.
Was there anything you would like to say in closing?
No, I guess my message, if I had to say one thing, would be that part of doing this way was recognizing the uncertainty that people are facing. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids going back to school. We have no idea what that's going to look like. There are parents out there who don't have jobs, but who also have jobs and don't know if they're going to be able to keep working because they don't know if there's going to be care for their kids. So we're really trying to create some certainty over a longer term with this so people know what they have to support them, and people are making really tough choices, and we're honestly trying just to make it a little easier for people.
Minister Qualtrough, thank you very much for talking to us today.
My pleasure. Nice to talk to you as well.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day.
Take care.
ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਹੀ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਸਰਬ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ 120 ਘੰਟੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭੱਤਾ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਉਹ 2000 ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਉਹ $1,600 ਮਿਲਣਾ। ਦੂਸਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗਿਗ ਵਰਕਰ ਤੇ ਸੈਲਫ ਇੰਪਲੋਇਡ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਭੱਤਾ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਨਾਲੇ 1 ਸਾਲ ਲਈ ਹੋਰ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਈਅਰ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਦੋਂ 120 ਘੰਟੇ ਹੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ 300 ਘੰਟੇ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਆਲੀਫਾਈ ਕਰੇਗਾ। ਪਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਮੁਲਕ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਭੱਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕੋਗੇ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਰਬ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਲੋਕ ਹੁਣ EI ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਅਤੇ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਕੰਮ ਲਈ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਕਰੇਜ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕੰਮ 'ਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਲਈ ਵੀ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਖੀਰ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਹੇਲੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਵੇਂ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਬਣੇ ਆ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਟੀਆ ਫਰੀਲੈਂਡ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੰਪਲ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਧਰ ਪੈਸੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਲਿਆਉਣਗੇ, ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਊਬਕ ਨੂੰ ਅਤੇ ਉੱਧਰ ਈਸਟਰਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਰਹੇ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਆ, ਮੇਰਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਤਾਲੁਕ ਆ, ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਪੈਸੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ।
Thank you for listening to another Red FM podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out our Red FM Canada YouTube channel. For further info, log on to our Red FM social media platforms or visit redfm.ca.